Have you ever heard of the Yeti, Bigfoot, the abominable snowman? Well, what if I told you New Zealand has its own mysterious mountain-dwelling creature, one that's said to roam the dense forests of the Coromandel Ranges? Meet the Moehau, a giant, hairy, humanoid beast that may just be more than local legend. Let's head into the misty mountains of Aotearoa to uncover the truth. The Moehau, sometimes called the Moehau Man, gets its name from Mount Moehau, a remote forest-covered peak at the northern tip of New Zealand's Coromandel Peninsula. Local stories describe it as a tall, shaggy, ape-like creature. Some say it stands up to 8 feet tall, walks on 2 legs, and is incredibly strong enough to rip out tree roots or toss sheep like tennis balls. Yeah, sheep never stood a chance. But here's where it gets interesting. Sightings of the Moehau date back to the early 20th century. One of the earliest accounts comes from a gold prospector in the 1920s who claimed he saw a wild man covered in hair watching him from the trees. Other stories trickled in, hikers, hunters, even farmers, claiming strange footprints, eerie howls, or the feeling of being watched. So what is it? Some believe it's New Zealand's version of Bigfoot, an undiscovered hominid lurking deep in the bush. Others think it could be a misidentified escaped animal, like a baboon or gorilla brought over by sailors or circus ships back in the day. Yes, those were real things. And then, of course, there are those who say it's all just tall tales fueled by fog, isolation, and maybe a little too much homebrewed moonshine. But here's something many don't realize. Long before the European stories, some Maori iwi had their own tales of taniwha, supernatural guardians or monsters that lived in rivers, caves, and mountains. While the Moehau isn't directly named, the idea of mysterious beings inhabiting the wild places of Aotearoa is deeply woven into Maori oral tradition. Mount Moehau itself is sacred, considered a resting place for chiefs of the Ngati Maru. So it's possible the mountain's mystique adds to the legend, or maybe even protects it. So is the Moehau real? We have no photos, no bodies, no verified tracks, nothing but whispers, old newspaper clippings, and secondhand sightings. Skeptics say it's myth. Cryptid hunters say it's hiding. But maybe, just maybe, that's the point. Because whether it's a flesh and blood creature or a living legend, the Moehau reminds us that the wild places of the world still hold secrets. And sometimes it's more fun not knowing. So what do you think? Is the Moehau just New Zealand's version of Bigfoot? A case of mistaken identity? Or could there really be something still to explore in the mists of Mount Moehau? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoyed this dive into cryptid lore, give it a like, subscribe, and click that notification bell, because there's a whole world of mysteries still to explore. Kakit Anno. See you next time.